until unless you have that revenue from your own company, don't leave your job, because money is important in real world. You cannot, either you have your backup, obviously that's another thing. If you have your father's money, that no problem. But for most of the people, don't do that. Make your startup at that point that you have got that revenue, and then leave your job.
Hello and welcome to Beyond Code Conversation with Recro. Beyond Code is an interactive series of conversation with experienced developers where we talk about everything that a developer would like to know beyond code. I'm your host Rashmi, and today we are going to talk about starting your own business. We will cover how to kickstart your journey, how to manage funds, challenges on the way, and how to build a successful business. Our guest for today is Mr. Rupesh Pandey, who is the co-founder and CTO at Travvir. And the reason he is here is because, like most of you, he started his career as a software developer and currently he is building his own startup. So if you are a software developer who aspire to become entrepreneur, this conversation is for you and you should not be missing that. Thank you so much, Rupesh, for joining us. Welcome to the conversation.
Hi Rashmi, that was a nice intro. So I want to tell more about myself. So the part you have already told my professional, but I want to tell about my personality, how it helped me to do this journey all along. So the thing is, you have to be very persistent about your problems. So from my childhood only, I used to solve things, whatever knowledge I have. Of course, in childhood, we don't have that much knowledge, but whatever knowledge you have to try solving the question. In that process, you will already learn new things and you will apply them. So that is a sort of personality which you have to develop if you want to become an entrepreneur.
If you can tell us a little bit about yourself, what do you do, where are you from, and when did you start probably?
Originally, I am from Lucknow, but from last 8 or 9 years, I am living in NCR only, and currently we are based in Noida. So we started this company around 3 years ago. In like there was no plan actually, so we were like, chalo kuch karte hain. So we were doing some things in real estate market, and we were working with the brokers. So we thought ki acha inki kya problems hai, what we are going to solve. And from there, that I told you na, so you have to keep working on the problem. So from there, 1 year we have just understood the problem, what the clients and what the people are facing. Then we think of a product, and now we have launched the product and it's doing quite great. And soon we will be launching it for a general public also. So this is we were doing for past 2 years, and other background I will tell later when the question comes.
Okay. So can you tell us a little bit about the product? I mean, what problem are you trying to solve in the market?
Yeah, sure. So in one line, we are trying to create a digital twin of the real world. So if I explain it a bit, you might have about metaverse, which Facebook is creating. So it's completely virtual. Everything is virtual. What we are trying to do is like this office, I want to create a virtual space of this office only. So I will start my app, which we have created. I will record the whole scene, and a 360 tour will be generated in the virtual world. Like you have seen, like Google Street View, they are connected walkthroughs. So those kind of walkthroughs will be generated from your smartphone only. Before us, it was 360 cameras were required to do this, but we have created this smartphone app which you can do it from your smartphone. So the major problem we are solving is this only, that the hardware is completely out of picture. And how currently we are doing, we have these clients like Brookfield and Max Properties. So what they are doing, they are selling the product in this virtual space, and due to the COVID situation, the visits are not being done. So they just join like this Zoom call, and our software is connected. We have created our video call and all that in that system only, and you can like show the place around ki ye aise aise hai. And that's how our clients are benefiting from this. They can like resell or get it to rented very quickly. Very quickly. Like Max has done this like I guess last year, and they have like now they are saying or karo. They have given another building also, and it's quite helpful for our clients.
Got it, got it. So basically, anyone who would like to buy a property or who would like to buy a space, but not but as a customer who is not in the position to visit the place or the property physically, those are your customers, wherein they can see the place in a 3D model with the help of your software. Correct?
Right, exactly. You can currently we are doing only commercial spaces, so I cannot show you anything, but you can think of it a upgraded version of housing or 99acres.com. We are not listing, actually we are helping, we are partnering with housing also, but those not doing exactly like listing, but yes, it's a technology upgrade. We are going into the virtual world. We are VR ready. You can, if you have the VR hardware, you can do it all in VR also.
Okay, so basically you have B2B clients or you're directly dealing with the customers?
Currently we have B2B, but we are focusing on B2C market.
And Rupesh, out of curiosity, when did you come up with this idea that this is something I want to sort of do or I want to venture into? Because when we think of starting a startup, a lot of ideas come to our mind ki acha ye kar lete hain, or let's do that, this and that, right? So when did you decide for yourself that okay, this is something that I want to get into, and when did you draw that conclusion?
So actually, to answer this question, we have to take a step back, because ideas are worthless. This is a bit counterintuitive, but ideas are worthless. Okay. So what I have, let me start from the beginning. Okay. So I was in college, not very great college, as a UPTU, some college. So at that time, I realized that colleges are not providing the education which is required in the industries. So I just I'm not a dropout, because India don't like dropouts. So I completed my degree, but I didn't get into college attendance and all. And I just started in industry as an intern and completed there, and then I joined a job also after college, 2 3 years. After that I thought, ha ho gaya, अब let's do something else. Or do something of ourselves. So at that time the idea was, let's build a IT company. I'm good at technical skills and I will provide IT services to these companies. I had some clients also, and I quit my job at that time and I started doing big mistake. But you don't have to do that. You have to create a revenue first. Your company, your side company must be running very well, then you have to leave your job. So that was a disaster, obviously. So first startup was a failure. And then what I learned from there, that ideas are worthless. You have to actually execute the idea in a proper planned way, then only you can create a company. And more important from that is, you have to have good partners. If your team is not up to the mark, or your team thinking does not match your thinking, then it's not going to work. So that I think explains your question, because you don't know you got an idea. If you are just हाँ मैं इस पे बना लूंगा, that's not going to work. You have to plan accordingly. Like, which skills do I have? I have technical skills. I don't have sales skills. I learned it the hard way from the first company, that I don't have sales skills. So first of all, I have to find a partner who have sales skill. I have to talk to him how much partnership he will be able to do, and all these sort of things. Then I have to have a plan how to sell the product. So if you want to do that, you have to have an idea, you have to have a team, you have to have a prototype, and then you have to have a incoming revenue. After that only you can start thinking about, now should I quit my job or should I continue like this. So that's the kind of thing you have to think about. Do not do that. Do not just quit it. It's quite harmful for you.
Got it. So basically, you started the IT company first because, of course, yeah, you come from that background. It did not work out, and then you ventured into Travvir, right? I mean, that's when you founded it.
Yeah, actually, this is also a coincidence. So when the company failed, so I started job again, and just to handle my finances. But I was searching for some new partners and some new ventures. So this was the partner which I have. We were connected with a common friend, and then also we both actually he also failed a startup, so he also had that experience. So then also we were like okay, so ये है तो ऐसे करना है. We were like planning, not completely just हाँ तो partner मिल गया शुरू कर लेते हैं. No, we were not doing that. We were planning कि we what we want to make. So none of got the idea कि ये this product should be made. No, we didn't have that at that time. We just knew that real estate market is big and no major players are currently doing well. So that was final, and we were searching new technologies like blockchain, NFTs, what we can do. And then he was doing the research, I was doing another job, and I was creating in part times the products which he thought will work. We were not knowing what should work, but how we landed here is you this is a good strategy actually. How we landed, what we are creating, the prototype we are creating, we took it to the customers. We are not asking for money, we are just saying dekho ise chala ke, what do you think about it. We got the feedback, we
Right.
thought some more, then we iterated, and then finally after 6 months I guess we thought this product should work because this is solving customers problem. So at that time we then created all मतलब सारे prototype जोड़ के we created a final product and start selling it. Then after that same iteration process is going on right now also. We are taking feedback and refining our product, even adding products also.
How much time did you take to sort of build a prototype for your business?
The prototyping is like just a workable project. So
Yeah.
prototype does not take more than 1 or 2 weeks. So that's not the point. The point is, again, the ideas are worthless. You have to take feedback from the market. So many prototypes are just waste. For like, for example, we were trying to do this like convert whole property into blockchain NFTs, and then have a record of those NFTs, that who is the owner and what that could have solved like property forgery. But that didn't work out. The market didn't needed that product, so it was just a waste. Then we iterated some more. So prototype is not a big deal, but what is big, that you have to go into the market. That might take some time. You have to go into the market, find those customers who are willing to give you feedback. So that
Right.
takes around 1-3 months also. It depends on your market.
And I think that raises an important question here, which you talked about, that okay, making a prototype is not important, but finding right customers who can use it and who can give you constructive
Yes.
feedback is much more important, so that you can, of course, make your product better, right? So, what
Yeah.
approach did you follow to reach out to your first customer once you are ready with the prototype?
Actually, we are into the real estate market, so cold call doesn't work. So we have to go personally into their offices, sit for
हाँ,
2-3 hours, that we want to do a meeting, we want to showcase a product.
हाँ,
So they thought like ये 99 acres जैसे होंगे, पैसे लेंगे. So we were doing like salesperson jobs, all sort of. But what they wanted from them is feedback. We didn't wanted to sell that product to them,
right,
but they didn't knew that. So unless until they don't see our product, what we are telling them, what we are saying, so we have to just wait. Like रोज रोज जा करके बैठने हैं 4 घंटे. Here sector 18 I guess in Noida is all the brokers. We sit there only. We have to sit in front of their office कि अभी मौका देंगे and then we will show. So we had
yeah.
I didn't do it personally, but yes, I know the process. Other partner and there was a sales guy which were doing this, but then the feedback comes to me and we then think of it and then continue from there. But you have to do this personally. If you do not have the partner to do this, then you have to do it personally. It cannot be skipped.
Absolutely. I mean, if you are running your own startup, you have to do anything and everything. I mean, from the sales to marketing to HR to admin, like there's nothing that you don't have to do. You have to do
And
everything.
at that time we were not selling also. Marketing to abhi tak nahi पहुंचे. We are not doing any marketing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yes, you are completely right. You have to do everything by yourself.
So what approach do you recommend or suggest people if they are looking for someone who can be a co-founder and who can help them in the business?
Finding a co-founder is like finding a marriage partner. I will stick to that only. Finding new people is not that much of a difficult problem. There are, like you said, there are many events and many apps also which can do that. But then analyzing that partner that I can marry him, not exactly marry, but you have to do like you have to around spend 12 to 14 hours per day with him. Then obviously you have to at least 5 years. You cannot expect any business to do good before that. So at least you are marrying him for 5 years and 14 hours a day. So that's the sort of thing you have to have back in your mind, that can I handle these situations with him? Is he understanding what I'm saying? So yes, we did it actually, since my other partner is also having this knowledge. So we experimented with each other for around 3 months. कि ये फंडे तो नहीं दे रहा, his payment is coming on time, if there is some payment also involved, then he is understanding my point. ऐसे तो नहीं कि वो बस ऐसे ही समझ ले रहा कि कुछ भी बोल देता. So these sort of things you have to do. You have to experiment with those people which are potential founders or potential partners, and you have to think about that where you want to compromise. Again, like marriage also. So you have to know that already कि हाँ यहाँ मैं compromise कर रहा हूँ. So that for that, these are the skills which I'm getting. And again, you don't have to repeat those skills. Like if I'm a technical person, so finding a technical partner is worthless. What he will bring more to this company.
Absolutely.
So for me, it was the salesperson which I wanted. So for that, Rohan is quite good, and we are doing well. So to answer your question again, so you have to do it by yourself. Yes, do experiments, take your time to the difference between marriage and this partnership is the legal work. So you can definitely be transparent and directly tell the truth on the face. Not possible in marriages.
Okay.
So that's the point.
That's a debatable statement though.
Yeah, that's also true.
Yeah. Got
So
it.
you have to, yes, you have to meet the person, observe him or her, whoever it is, and then talk about it, that these are the things I don't like about you, or these are the things which might create problem in future because I don't like them. So what is your statement on that? And maybe do a legal contract that you will not do this and you will not do that and anything possible, because there are legal terms. So
Absolutely.
that's the thing you have to do.
So basically, experimenting for some time and setting up the right expectations are the key.
Yeah, and setting up the right I think basic rules also, that this should not be done like this. Like
Absolutely.
for me, there was a thing that since I already wasted all my time and finance in the first startup, I didn't have lot much to go. So there was this one condition for me with my partner, that a minimum this amount of salary should be done. So how should we do that? So yes, he agreed on that, and we had it in our contract.
What stage your startup is at? Is it a bootstrap or is it funded?
In the beginning, we are like doing bootstrap only, but when we have this prototype and already customers ready, then we approach some these incubators. There are very few in India, but we are working with Aspire Labs in Noida. It's a wing of Polyplex Corporation. So what incubators do, they take early startups, they give them an office and a little bit of fund, not much, but a little bit of fund that help us what we are saying to prove it. So we got that 2 years back, and then COVID happened. So when COVID happened, we got stuck. So our plan was never that virtual space COVID mein karenge. COVID just happened. So it was a happy thing for us, but we didn't have any customers till then. So what we did, and then since COVID happened, so all our these potential customers, we didn't give them the product, and we didn't took any money, but they started calling कि अब तो जरूरत है, obviously.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, COVID has worked in your favor.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it worked in our favor. But the problem was we didn't knew that this will happen. So at that time, this mobile app which I was talking about, it was also not ready. We were using 360 cameras only, so the shoot was like stuck. We were not able to do shoots also, so they can sell their properties. So for 3-4 months, where was the extreme lockdown was that there, we collected those customers, and then after lockdown was lifted a bit, we started shooting, and then we saw our products potential. The customers which would were like selling the buildings in 6 months, it took only 2 months. So हमें भी नहीं पता था that our product was so much yeah. So at that point, these accelerator partners give us an office and all that happened, but they suggested that don't raise more and build your product. And like again, this product was quite early, so they suggested that build your product like enterprise level. And since the product is performing so well, you will get your customers all very quickly. And yes, that happened. We didn't needed to raise actually. Our revenue was quite high, and we are a team of 4 only. So at that time, there was no problem. So for us, it worked quite well because we did find our revenue. I think because since I have at least 2 startup experience, so I think that happened due to that market iteration only. So in first startup, I was doing everything by myself, and then it went to the market, and market rejected it. But in this one, what we did, we took feedback from market only. So the market created the product. So that's why I think it took off like crazy. So after that, other problems were coming from these customers, like the 360 camera required to do the shoot. So then we started doing products from there, and I don't think we didn't raise after that. But currently, since our new products are also complete, which I told you earlier, now the app is complete, and that platform is complete where the app photos goes and show you the as walkthrough. So now we need funding, and we are talks with again very small, not VC funds. Not, I will not say small investor, but we are not approaching VC funds right now, because this is also very important. Right. Once you take VC money, they want accelerated growth, and if you are not capable of that, then it will backfire. So we have approached actually strategic investors like developers, that real estate developers like DLF and Max and Stellar. So these local Noida developers only, and they also quite like the product because they are in real estate market only. So they understand the problem, they understand the product. So they were quite happy. And yes, so first try to bootstrap, then raise only to complete your product. And if the product is bringing in good revenue, then you will not need to raise. For very good example is Zerodha. Zerodha has never raised, and now it's $1 billion startup. Right. So if it is getting enough revenue, then you don't have to raise actually. So we were in that phase, but actually now we have a problem. We got some competition, so we have to scale very quickly now. Yeah. So that's why we are raising now. And I would have that much story about raising. Abhi VC tak we haven't reached.
The ones who would be listening to it would have this question in mind, that how to approach these strategic investors initially. So anything to share on those lines?
What we did, we started like just reaching from LinkedIn only. And from LinkedIn, we found a few connections which were interested in the product. Then they connected us with other investors. So LinkedIn is the best thing when you do not want to do cold calling, because it seems a bit typical. But yes, on LinkedIn, you can approach, you can write a good email, and if you have a presentable demo like we created a YouTube video only, and in that video everything was presentable. So we start sending that video to these people are beneficial for us. We start reaching out. Few of them of course didn't reply, few of them replied, few of them just like that only. But at the end what happened that those few which entered our domain and understood the product, they liked the product, and then they connected to another person who was more capable from them also. So that's the strategy we followed. Maybe there were many others. VC funds are like you can directly target VCs also. There are quite a few companies like Less Venture and AHA Ventures. What they do, they take a bit of equity and commission if they if they raise with you. But the problem again for us was that we were not approaching VCs. So that's also a path. But what we took is like just reaching out from LinkedIn only.
So now you said that it's bootstrap plus you have some strategic investments as well. Currently, what is your team size? How many people are there in the team?
5.
5 people, okay. And these are from which all teams? I mean, you have
So
just the product team?
in sales, we only have Rohan, the other co-founder. In tech, I'm handling, and 3 members are there. One for designing, and one for mobile, and one for general development. So this is also a good point. You have to keep your team lean, but that team should be A1. So I do not hire people just to because there is one, we want one Android developer, so just hire an Android developer. No, you have your team members, at least the first 5 or 10 team members, they should also align with your thinking and company's potential. They should believe in the company, or else then you will be wasting money only. So that's a big reason why we haven't needed that much amount of money, because we didn't scale our team. Our team was quite lean and capable of doing what we wanted to accomplish. So that's also a strategy. Keep your team lean. For again, if I take Zerodha as an example, they only till now they only have 36 developers. So a technical team should be lean. If you are creating a tech product, if you are creating a sales product or something else, then there's a different case.
If you have to sort of talk about some of the challenges, like the major challenges that you have faced while you are in your startup journey, what would that be?
I will tell you about some technical problems, because the sales I didn't do personally at that much. So the technical challenge was the product which we are trying to create is also created by Google also. So if Google was not doing that, how are we going to create? So that was quite a hard problem to solve. But what we did is, again, you have to be persistent about that problem. It took about 2 years to create this product, and actually in that 2 years the actual coding part was like 3 or 4 months. But we were not reaching to that product. How we have to approach it, how we have to do it, we were not reaching. We were just constantly trying things. Like the problem was like a smartphone which we have, this can create only a small portion of a room. So we have to create a picture by stitching all those images together. It's a computer vision problem. So there are a lot of research papers which we are reading daily. After college, this was my first time reading again, but now I did knew why I am reading. This is the most important thing which Indian education system doesn't understand. The students learn to pass the exam, so that's the problem. But here I knew, so I kept trying, learning, kept trying another code. But at the end we landed somewhere. We started doing some more prototypes, and at the end what actually was missing was latest technologies. So you should be if you are a technical person, obviously, so you should be like updated from what's coming. Like we are currently using GPT-3. I don't know if you have heard about it or not. It's a AI trained by OpenAI. It launched in just before COVID. So it is capable of doing a conversation with human and pass the Turing test. That means that the human in front of you would not be able to tell that he's talking to a person or he's talking to a bot. So we are using that technology in our system. It doesn't existed 2-3 years ago. Then again, another technology is a GAN, generative adversarial network. So it's a machine learning model which was launched in 2017. So that is also quite helping us. Then the main thing I'm trying to tell you, so as a technical person, you have to be updated that what's happening in the real world and what research and development is being done and how those research could be utilized into your products. So that's the thing. So the major challenge was that only. I will not go into technicals because I don't think viewers will understand that. But you have to solve by this only, that you have to keep being updated all about the latest technologies, what is going on in the world.
So we talked about funds, we talked about challenges. Did you, Rupesh, tell us this? I mean, there are a lot of bad days while you are, of course, working for your own startup as well. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people encounter these days wherein they are like, they feel like, yeah, what are we doing? And we had the monthly salary coming in, 9 to 5 jobs, and it was so comfortable. So
Yeah,
do you have those kind of days, and do you ever feel like going back to that 9 to 5 kind of a setup and live a
yeah.
comfortable life? And if so, what do you do then? What do you think?
So not in this startup actually, because I already told you I have that clause in my hand that I need a minimum salary. So not in this startup, but yes, the earlier one, it was like I was doing 2 to 3 jobs at a time to get my finances right. And I was like, bhai, ye kya ho raha hai? There was something great going on with before that, and I just left it. And but actually that's the kind of I guess हिंदी में कहावत है ना, सोना बनेगा आग से ही. So if you are not willing to do that kind of things, I don't think then you should just go and start the job only. You have to face these difficulties. Running your own startup is not easy. You have to face that. These are the things that will teach you that how to do this and how to do that. But yeah, but what I did at that time कि एक दिन की छुट्टी लेते थे and just sleep over it. That's the best solution I have for you. Sleep over it. Change is the only constant of this universe. Everything changes. So that's, you have to do that. There is no shortcut for that. You have to bear it.
One last question for you, Rupesh. All these developers who are listening to this conversation and who aspire to become an entrepreneur one day, or who are in the journey of becoming an entrepreneur, what tips or what advice do you have for them so that they can succeed?
I have covered most of it in our earlier conversation, but I will just summarize. So first of all, don't leave your job. So until unless you have that salary which you were drawing from another company, until unless you have that revenue from your own company, don't leave your job, because money is important in real world. You cannot, either you have your backup, obviously that's another thing. If you have your father's money, that no problem. But for most of the people, don't do that. Make your startup at that point that you have got that revenue, and then leave your job. And after leaving your job, don't think that now I was doing 9 to 5, then I will do 9 to 5. You have to work double or triple. Like you have to work we don't get holidays actually as a co-founder. Sunday we working, Saturday we working, Diwali we working, no problem. But yes, you get a bit things that, like, you can work on your own time. If you are getting a mood to work at 1 o'clock in the night, you can do that. So that another thing. But you have to double down on your the work you are doing. You have to double down on that after leaving the job, but don't leave it until you get a steady source of revenue. have a plan for around 6 months, at least 6 months. For these 6 months, the revenue will keep coming. Like it's not like 2 months have passed and revenue is coming. Now I can leave the job. You have to foresee it. The next 6 months is also coming. So I already told that running a startup is not running out of money. So you have to think about that. And then again, what I have already told, take feedback of your product from customers if possible, not customers, then colleagues, friends, whoever is available, but take feedback. Your own mind cannot do that great, but a lot of feedback combined will make a great product. So I guess that's that. I don't have much experience right now. Maybe in future I will be able to
No,
share
I think
that.
this was a good conversation, at least for someone who is exploring how to get started and what are a few of the mistakes that one can avoid, and at least someone who would want to have the basic understanding of getting things started for his or her own startup. So I think this was a nice conversation, Rupesh, on that front. Thank you so much for sharing your experiences, and I really loved everything that you have talked about in terms of finding a co-founder, managing funds, and of course one of the important tips that you have given to us is do not quit your job until and unless you have a steady source of revenue
Yeah.
or income. So that is pretty important. Thank you so much, Rupesh. How can people connect with you?
So you can find my connection like LinkedIn profile and Twitter profile in the description only. And mainly I'm active on LinkedIn only, but there is Twitter also. And you can comment on this video also. I will be seeing that also.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Rupesh, once again for being a part of our Beyond Code conversation. I'm sure it is gonna be helpful for all the listeners and all the viewers who, aspire to be an entrepreneur, and they would have something to learn from you. Thank you so much, Rupesh, for joining
Yeah,
us.
I also hope so that it should be beneficial.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you, Rashmi.
Thank you, Rupesh.